Those of you who know me know my history, but some of you are new and some of you don't. When I came to this church, I was broke and I was broken. I literally had nothing. I had recently gotten out of jail, and that was a past history that had plagued me forever. When I was 22, I made a stupid decision to drive while drinking. And right after that, I got caught driving to work when I wasn't supposed to be driving, and I was speeding. So I was caught driving without the interlock ignition device and reckless driving because I was speeding. So that was 3 major offenses in less than 2 years. They were all boom, boom, boom. So they called me a habitual offender, and they took away my license for 10 years. Well, obviously that really messed me over. I continued to drive because I needed to get to work, and I continually kept on getting in trouble over and over and over again until it just got worse and worse and worse. I just kept on digging a hole for myself, and no matter how much I tried to dig out or how much I tried to get my license back or do the things I needed to do or pay the court fines, every time I get a couple steps off the ladder, I get kicked back down. I go through major depressions, and when I go through these major depressions, I'd end up diving back into a bottle or addiction or, men, whatever it was that I needed to fill that hole inside of me to try to feel better, anything I could just to not feel so awful. And it was just an endless cycle. And this followed me all the way into my 30s and my late 30s. And I just couldn't seem to escape it. And finally, I got thrown in jail for 6 months for driving on a suspended license because it was my 3rd time getting caught. And the judge told me if I get caught again, because I have a reckless disregard for the law, I was going to prison. So I sat in jail for 6 months. I lost my son. I lost my house. I lost everything. I walked out of jail with literally nothing but the clothes on my back. I signed myself up for treatment because I was actually afraid. I was so depressed. I was afraid I was going to kill myself when I got out of jail because I had lost my son. I had ruined my whole life. So I set up some safeguards for myself and signed myself up for treatment. Was living in a women's home. Shortly after that, I found this church. And it's been so amazing for me. I literally had got a little apartment, no car, was walking up the road to church every Sunday for almost a year. And pastors here presented me with a car, and I freaked out. I couldn't even say thank you. Like, nobody had done something nice like that for me. They said, "We got you a car," and I looked at them all big-eyed and ran away. And then I had to come back and apologize, you guys did something really nice for me. I don't know how to react when people do nice things for me. I'm sorry, thank you for helping me. And they have helped me and had my back, and them having faith in me and pouring into me and showing their love and care for me really inspired me. I wanted to do better, and I wanted to serve the Lord. And even though, I told him when I first got here, man, this church is weird, but I want to be like them. They're just the way they poured their heart out and the way they worshiped, I knew I wanted what they had. And I just admired the light in Pastor Hannah so much, her light and her spark and her love, and just I was just so drawn to her. And so I kept on coming back, and I was always faithful with my tithe. When I first started coming here, I didn't tithe. I was broke and I had nothing, and I didn't know how I was going to do it as a single mom. But when more they started speaking on it, because in my head I'm like, God doesn't need my money. But the more they started speaking about it, and talking about it, and coming up here and saying the verses that they say, I was like, you know what, I need to start doing this. And I didn't know how I was going to make it happen. I was really broke. I was living paycheck to paycheck, eating ramen, but I did it, and I was faithful with it. And God has been faithful with me every single step of the way. I gave that car back to the church. Another member of the church drives it. Got another car. Had that one for a while, got a better job, was able to buy a home. I own my own home. Gave that car back to the church. Another member of the church here now drives it. I'm driving a brand new truck, which is something I never thought I'd own, a brand new car. I never thought I would own my own home. I was stuck in this cycle that I was a loser and everything that came from me was going to be bad, It was what was in my head, but God saved me from that mentality. He saved me from poverty. He saved me. Now I'm a good mother to my son. I'm not depressed. I don't have nothing to, before when you're depressed and you're addicted, even though you love, you have nothing to give. You have nothing to offer your significant other, your children. You are an empty vessel who has nothing to pour out. You're in need of love because you're so broken. And God has been so faithful, so I kept on giving more, and I kept on giving more, and I kept on giving more, and I gave to different avenues and gave here. And even though I gave when I didn't have it to give, I'd give on my credit card. I didn't care. I was going to give. I wasn't going to lack giving because this extra bill popped up or because something happened. I was going to tithe. And God has blessed me so abundantly, it's been ridiculous, So now, on top of owning my own car and a new truck, I have a great job, and I was praying, like, Lord, help me. I work all the dang time because I send my son to private Christian school, which, by the way, is not cheap. The private Christian school costs me almost $700 a month, and then before and after care on top of that, that's $1,000 on top of my mortgage, on top of my truck payment, on top of all these things, and you guys all know how expensive everything is right now. So I'm able to pay all that, plus give my tithes, plus go to Africa, plus help orphanages, plus do all these different things, that I don't even tell anybody about. I'm able to do more in abundant. I was praying to God, like, God, I work so darn much. I work every single day of my life, and God, I don't mind working. I've been working full-time since I'm 14 years old, but God, I'm tired. Lord, I'm weary, and I need some rest. I work all the dang time. So I was like, can I work less and get paid more? Can something happen here, Lord? Because I'm tired. I want more time to worship. I want to be able to do these women's prayers and go to church on Wednesday and serve and do all these things that I can't do because I work every day of my life. So, and then my staffing manager came over to me and she's like, we could really use help on the weekends. We'll give you this beneficial schedule. It's called a 32-40. You work 2 16-hour shifts back to back, and we'll pay you for 40. All right, that sounds good. Work 2 days a week and have the rest of the week off. I can do that. So not only do I get my 32-40 and get paid for 40 hours to work 2 days a week, if I pick up any additional shifts, that's all overtime. So I'm working less and getting paid more, just like I asked for. So that has been such a blessing. And even being able to go to Africa, like, I didn't know how I was going to be able to swing Africa. I had no idea how I was going to be able to do it, but I'm like, Lord, you will provide. You will meet my needs as I seek to live according to your will, and he did. And I'm going to go to Brazil. I don't know how I'm going to swing that right after going to Africa, but I know the Lord's going to provide.